Hey, what's going on everybody? This is G The Hypersapien, and in this video we're going to continue to explore the Ork miniature range. This time we're looking at Warhammer 40,000 Orks, Mozrog, Skragbad. So you get one miniature per box set. Build them as the character Mozrog Skragbad with the great white squig, or you have optional assembly, which is the beast boss on Squigosaur. But let's bust this open and have a look. So we have the sprues, the base, and then the build guide. So this is an 80mm base, so we'll put that to the side, but nice big base. We'll put the sprues to the side as well. Like always, we'll take a look at the build guide first. So read this first. Before assembling your miniatures, please read through the instructions in this booklet carefully. A pair of plastic cutters is required to remove the plastic components in this kit from the frame. We advise using a mold line scraping tool to clean up the parts. To assemble your model, you will need plastic glue. Games Workshop sells Citadel fine detail cutters, Citadel mold line remover, and Citadel plastic glue, but does not recommend these products for use by children under the age of 16 without adult supervision. You can buy all those tools from different companies, but that's up to you. So we got Mozrog, Skragbad, and then we got the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. So you have the two different variants here, so choose which one you want to build and then continue. So step 1. 18 and 17, so you get two sides of the squig face, so you basically glue them together. Now the yellow is the part where you're going to put the glue, so that's the glue or the connection points. So you can see 18 and 17, this is where you're going to put the glue. And if we jump across here quickly, the blue is the previous step. So this part we've already glued together, so it's going to indicate that in blue. But then we have piece 20, piece 19 and piece 21. Now this is the nose of the Squigosaur, this is the tongue, and this is the bottom jaw piece, or the bottom teeth here. So again, you can see the yellow part, that's where you're going to glue these pieces. So you can see piece 19 looks a little bit fiddly, so it's going to fit inside the Squigosaur's mouth. You can see this opening here, but you can see that you need to put glue in here. So you can see glue around this open space here, and then put the tongue in. You'll probably want to do that first because these pieces might get in the way after you've done it. So it doesn't sort of tell you which order to do it in, but I'd probably suggest to put it in first. You've got piece 20 as nose, and then piece 21, and then that's his bottom teeth. Then you have the completed Squigosaur face. So step 2 is the Squigosaur's leg. So you can see 6, 7 and 8. So 6 is the whole complete foot and leg. And then you put this little piece in here, 7, so it just looks like it's bulking out his leg. And then you have one of his toes separate, which is 8. So then you have his mechanical leg, so that's step 3, 4 and 5. Then we have the third part, which is his leg. And then we put the fourth piece in, so it's just the piece on the side like before. Then step 5 is basically all of his toes, and then you connect it to the bottom of his foot here, and then there's one toe piece here. Shows the legs being put onto the body, but we haven't completed the body yet, so we'll jump down here. Piece 1 and 2 are both sides of the body that you put together. Now if you built any of the other squigs, especially the Smasher squig, this is quite similar but just a bigger version. So we can see we put all the glue on the yellow parts, and then we put the piece 2 onto piece 1. It shows a completed image here once you put the legs on, so quite obvious you put the legs on these open areas here on both sides, and then the complete Squigosaur body with legs. So this is Mozrog Skragbad. 3A is 11 and 9. So this is basically the body of the squig. The last piece is more of the belly of the squig. So you put these two pieces together, you can see the complete image there, and then you glue it into the belly of the beast there. And that's 2. 3B, you put in 13 and 12 together, which is the gun. It looks like that's just a little bit of the gun, the tip of the gun, and then it looks like a tooth hanging off. Also you put piece 10 on, which are these exhausts on the side of the beast here, and then you attach the head. And then you put the gun onto the side of the beast here, so it looks like the opposite side of where the exhausts go. Now 3C, you can see where the gun is on the side here, so it's attached to the beast here. So then you put in on 22 and 23, which is his legs. I'll probably personally paint these separately, the Mozrog and then the Squigosaur. So I'm going to probably put these together So I'm probably going to put Mozrog together before I glue him onto the Squigosaur, but that's up to you. So piece 22 and piece 23, you can see basically it's his legs and a part of his lower torso. So you're putting that together and obviously it glues onto the saddle. You can see an image here of it complete. Now step 4 is Mozrog's body, 3 and 32. You can see you're putting the front on and the back, so the chest and then his back. Then you jump down here, 35 is his head, obviously that goes in the neck area. Then you have piece 34, which looks like a mechanical piece of Mozrog, so that goes onto his chest area. And then you have 36, which is the snake bite glyph that goes on his back. Then you put in together his claw, so 37 is his arm and his hand, and then 38 is that huge claw that he has, and you can see that that attaches to this wrapping part here. And then you put his arm with the claw onto Mozrog. Now 5A, 39 and 40, this looks like it's his hand, so you just basically put in a finger on his hand here. 41, you're putting on the previous step, which is his hand, onto his arm here. Now this is his mechanical arm, like Terminator. You can see the complete step here. You jump over to here, you have the Squigosaur all built. His legs are attached. As I said, I'll probably leave mine off until later on. And 4 is Mozrog's body and that arm we put on before and the snakebite symbol. And then we put on his other arm here, this mechanical one, which is sort of resting. Now we jump down to 5B. Now this has a couple of these big shells here. That looks like it goes onto the side of the beast here. So he has the gun here that's resting, but it's attached to the beast. And obviously he's in this chilled, sort of relaxed pose, but obviously he's going to shoot from this gun here, and he has a couple of shells there. This is the complete image of Mozrog Skragbad in all of his glory. What an amazing model that is, absolutely love it. Now we have Beast Boss on Squigosaur. So 6 is Beast Boss on Squigosaur, so this is 6A, so 14 and 16. So that's the body of the beast. So just similar to before, we glue both sides on, and then you put it onto the belly of the beast there. So we jump down to 6B, so you have 1 from before that we put together, which is the Squigosaur's face. Now you have the body attached, so you put the piece 1 onto the body. And then you put on piece 15, which is almost this tap looking part. And then on this one, you have the gun, which is 12 and 13. Similar to before, you just basically put that front piece on. But this goes onto the side here in a downwards pose. So as you can see, it doesn't have the exhaust, but it has the gun in the same sort of position. Now we jump down to 6C, which is the 22 and 23. So that's his legs, like we mentioned before. So we put both of his legs together. Obviously he goes on a saddle. One of his feet are resting on this little pipe part here, as you can see in the next image. So that's the complete image of the feet on the Squigosaur. Now we have 6D, which is 25 and 24. So this is the body of the beast boss and the back of the beast boss with this awesome pelt that he has. We jump across. Piece 30 is his face. That goes obviously in his neck area. And then you have 26, which is his shoulder pad, and 27, which is his huge chopper here. So that goes onto his arm. The hand goes onto the arm there. And then the shoulder pad obviously goes on the shoulder area. Now we jump down to 6E, but we jump across here to finish off the beast boss. So 31 is this jaw piece. Obviously it goes onto each side of his face, the jaw. Now 29 is the skull that goes onto his back. Now 28 is his other hand with this shooter in there. So that goes obviously onto his body there. So we jump back across here. We can see the beast boss. He goes onto his body here. And then you have 43 and 42, which are these shells and this canisters here. 43 goes onto the hip of the actual beast boss. And then the 42, the big canisters, go onto the actual Squigosaur himself. As mentioned earlier, 80mm base is what the Squigosaur goes onto, and then you can see the complete Squigosaur and beast boss here. We have the rules for Mozrog Skragbad, and then we have the rules for beast boss on Squigosaur. So that's the build guide. Now let's have a look at the sprues. We'll take a look at the small sprue at first. So this is the organic squig here. He has these little scaly parts, these little spike parts, which is nice. You see lots of dings and lots of cuts in the actual Squigosaur. Really nice here though, you can see it's the muscles, and you can even see where the bones are under the skin. So you can see a bone would be here, and a bone up here and here. So we see the jaw piece for the beast boss there. There's the front of the gun with the tooth attached to it. You can see the finger here, the finger for Mozrog, and that's the rest of his hand. If we flip it on the back, you can see his other hands, and then you put that one finger into it. While we're looking at the back, we'll have a look at the gun. So there's the gun arm for the beast boss. Really nice detail where the hand is, the finger on the trigger, the huge shooter here, really nice. It's the face of the Squigosaur, really good. I love a lot of Games Workshop squigs, but this one has to be the best. It's just really beastie looking. So this must be the beast boss's Squigosaur, I'd say. I believe that's where he hangs his gun. Obviously both sides of the squig face, basically symmetrical really. There's not much difference. Maybe a couple of different scratches and lumps and bumps. There's one of the legs here. You can see some dags on the trousers there. Looks really nice. Now this is the hand, I'm guessing, that has Mozrog's claw on it. So we can see the huge claw here. It's basically got this engine running as well. Almost looks like chainsaw pieces. He has the huge claws. And then obviously it goes here just over the arm. Nice to have options, but it's a shame that there's going to be some leftovers. But you know what leftovers means. Goes into the bits box and you can add them to other stuff later on. It's the front of the Squigosaur. Really love that snout. Really cool. Definitely looks like a shark in a way. Lots of little dings and scratches. Love that. Now this is Mozrog's face here. Looking like Terminator. That's awesome. Stitched up. You can see it's all mechanical, but he's stitched up. Obviously he's got in a lot of fights. This is the bottom jaw, and it has that drool or the blood coming off it that we've all seen in the art. Now this is pretty straightforward, but it's the side of the squig. The other foot here, the other leg, basically like before. So that goes onto the mechanical leg. We saw that part that goes onto the mechanical leg. So I believe this is the mechanical part that goes on Mozrog. You had that part that goes over his rib cage. You have one of the toes for the organic leg. This looks awesome. This is Mozrog's great white squig. Lots of little bumps, little sort of pimply looking parts. You see it's stitched up here. I really love this strap that goes around him. It has a lot of texture in it. You can see lots of little scratches and stuff, make it look a bit worn. Love all the detail, the spikes on him. Huge tongue of the Squigosaur. Love that. Nice texture, little bumps and stuff on it. Now this is the back of the beast boss, this skull part. So I'm going to have to put this on something else. It's going to come in handy for a conversion later on. I've already got an idea what I might do with it. This is the snake bite symbol that goes on Mozrog. Looks really cool. Love that. Looks like an orc skull. It looks a little bit small though. Maybe it's a grot one. Have the mechanical leg as well. The mechanical leg of the squig. This is just an awesome model though. Absolutely love this. It's one of the best kits that have come out for a while. Probably since Gaz Skull. I do love the Smasher Squig and stuff like that, but yeah, this is up there with Gaz Skull quality. This is the Beast Boss. I love that he has this hide on him. It's a little bit of shame that Mozrog doesn't have that. But they're both nice. I like both of them for different reasons. But yeah, that's the Beast Boss with the hide, with the animal hide on it. And we can see Mozrog's one's just here, which is just as equally as cool. It has the mechanical rib cage showing. Now this is the Great White Squig with the engine part, and obviously the exhaust parts go on here. Great White Squig here, really beastie looking. So this is the gun that goes onto the side of the Squigosaur. We saw the little front piece on the other sprue. Now look at this awesome huge chopper here. Love that, that looks beastie as. Love the way the blade looks, sort of has a curve to it. Lots of little jagged parts. Lovely stuff. Now this is the shells and those huge canisters that go into the guns. Now this must be Mozrog's mechanical hand. I love how it has all these little glyph parts on it, so we can see a few dags, a bone, has a squig skull. Love that. The toe for the squigosaur, you can't forget the toe. You don't want him to be toeless. This must be that little tap part that goes onto the beast boss squigosaur. And then you have the exhausts, of course, that go under here. The back of the beast boss, this huge furry pelt, has some spikes and stuff to it, a lot of texture. That's really nice though, lots of texture. See the individual pieces of fur picked out. But yeah, that's an amazing model, absolutely amazing. This is dope as, absolutely love it. Spine of Mozrog. So you can see that's the spine that attaches to the side of the chest piece. But yeah, that's awesome. You can just see that he's been put together. He's just mainly all machine, really. But that's my review of Mozrog's Skragbad and Beast Boss on Squigosaur. I hope you enjoyed it. But if you did, if you could please like, please subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. But this was G, the Hypersapien, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.